Hey guys, welcome back. We've got yet another scan tool review. Today, what we got in is a Foxwell NT624 Elite. And this is an all-system scanner. So it's supposed to work with all makes. It's an all systems, meaning that it detects every module that's on your car. ABS, engine, transmission, heated seats, you name it. Every module that's on your car, power windows, power locks, whatever module you may have on your car, this scan tool is supposed to be able to detect it and show you the live data, codes, and the ECU information. So we're going to check that. ECU information is very important a lot of times. So let's get this thing out of the box and let's take a look at it. Comes in a nice case. It's always nice to have a case. That way you're not looking for like a cardboard box or whatever to keep all your stuff in. Nice manual. Alright. Got a memory card and a I don't know if that's a, I don't know what kind of USB port they call that. Micro USB, I guess. The scan tool does have lifetime updates also. Got a little memory card reader. And that's how you update this scan tool. So you would take the memory card out of the bottom here, put it in this memory card reader, put it in the computer, and there's a program that you download from their website, and that's how you update the memory card. And then when you put the memory card back in, the scan tool is updated. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing hooked up to the car here. Let's go through the all the features that it's got. Now this is a I think it's a 5, hold on, let me find it here. A 5 system scan tool, meaning let's see here, oil reset, electronic parking brake. Well, I know I read that it is a 5 system scan tool, so we're going to take a look at that. May need to update it for that to happen, but we'll see. Alright. Okay, so now this is not a touch screen. Now I've darkened it so that you can see the screen real well. This is this got buttons on the side, so we're just going to go through and we're going to see what the features are. So of course you got history, so whenever you connect to different cars, you'll be able to go back and quickly pull their information back up without having to go back through each and every time. It is an auto VIN scan tool, so when you hook it to the car, it will detect most VINs. Now there's, if you hook it to a car that's too old, the car itself is not capable of displaying the VIN through the OBD2 connector. So don't be disappointed if you hook it to, say, like a 97 Ford truck and it doesn't detect the VIN, because it's not the scan tool's fault. It's that the computer on the truck does not have the VIN stored in the ECM, or it's not able to, give that information out, I guess. Then, of course, you got your generic OBD2 right here. That's where you'd find your just your generic OBD information with your IM readiness monitors and things like that. Then you got your diagnostic, which is what we're going to click on here in just a minute, or we'll do auto VIN. The update, if you had this connected to your computer, you'd be able to update it that way. Data manager is where any saved data, I think you can save graphs and other live data with this, and that's where you would find, that's where you would go to, to find that. Settings, we'll go ahead and go into settings. So we got language, which should be English. Units. Whoop. I can't see these buttons because I've got it dark in here, so just bear with me. And of course we're going to go with Imperial. Shortcuts. Okay, that's just your... So you've got an F1, F2, and F3 button over on the left side of the screen. Beep set, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Display test, keypad test, and about. We'll go down to about. Take a look at that. Okay, that gives you the version that currently is. So whenever you update it, that may or may not change depending on if they change the actual version of the tool, or if they're just giving software updates. And then of course you got maintenance. So let's click that. So here's where you got your ABS service, your electronic parking brake, oil reset, steering angle sensor, and your throttle body. TPM. They're calling it throttle position sensor. That's actually if you take your throttle body off, or you need to clean it or whatever, that will reset it so that your idle will be correct, and your acceleration, you don't have a hesitation or whatever. So these are the 5 special functions that it's got. Okay, ABS service is a big one, because if you want to change your brakes on the back of your truck or car, if you have a if you want to bleed your brakes and you've got air in the ABS module, the only way to get that air out is to have a scan tool that is able to actuate the ABS module. You got to turn the pump on, you've got to exercise the solenoids, and it will actually bleed your brakes. You still got to crack your ports at all 4 corners of the car, but it'll bleed all the air out of the ABS module. If you don't get all that air out, you're going to have a spongy pedal, and you can't do it without a scan tool. Your electronic parking brake is the function you're going to use if you want to change the brakes on the back of your car or truck, and you have an electronic parking brake. You have to have a scan tool that will retract the pistons in the calipers, so that you can take your old pads off, put your new pads on, you install your calipers, and then this will reset the parking brake so that all that'll work right. And then of course you got your oil reset, steering angle sensor calibration for your steering wheel, and your throttle body, which is this one right here. So pretty good little feature set there. So let's go ahead and go on up here to auto VIN, and we'll select automatic VIN acquisition, and there it is. F3 is going to be yes, so I'm going to hit yes. Okay, that is correct, so I'm going to hit yes to that. And we'll just do a quick scan. We'll see how long it takes to go down through this, scanning for all the modules. Okay, this is a L83. Whoops. And it is a M5U 8-speed transmission. Okay, we do have the up-level radio in this vehicle. And here's where it is scanning all the modules. And it's going to tell you if it passes with no faults, or if it does have a fault, then you know, it'll show that. I think this truck has about 18 or 19 modules. I can't remember exactly. If you look right here, we have up to 31 modules that it's going to search for. So it's found 14 of 31. I'm sorry, it's found 10 of 31. It's now number 18 of 31 that it's scanned for. It'll bypass any that it doesn't see. There we've got a couple faults on the seat module. Okay, so let's scroll down. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these that has... Now you can hit F3 and it'll give you a report. So I'm going to hit F3. You can see the F3 down here. It says report. And what that does is that gives you a rundown of what all it found. So you can scroll down, and there's our seat module with our two faults. And you can save that if you want. I'm going to go back, and let's just go ahead and go into the engine control module, because that's obviously the number one module most people is going to want to deal with. And we'll see what all information that it gives us. Now I believe this will give us the ECU information, and the reason that's important is if you need to see if there's a software update for your, you know, let's say that you've got a drivability issue and you're trying to figure out if there's a software update that might fix your vehicle. So you pull up a service bulletin. Let's say we'll just say GM has got a service bulletin out that has a ECU update to fix the problem that you're having. You can come over here and you can take a look, and it will actually show you the part number of the module and any software part numbers that's on your vehicle. So there's the VIN, and you can see all the part numbers, all the different software part numbers that it's currently got, and you can take a look at that and see if the update that you've pulled up, say the service bulletin, you know, if it's not showing the same software, then you know that you probably need a software update that may or may not fix your issue. So the ECU information is always a good thing to have. Of course, you got your diagnostic trouble codes, and we know that the engine control module doesn't have any. So let's go ahead and go into the data display. That's your live data, and we're just going to do engine data. You've got different types of engine data that you can select from on a lot of these GMs. And you're supposed to be able to graph. It's supposed to have graphing, which is nice for changing data. Like O2 sensors is probably the number one thing that a lot of people use the graphing for, is to see the O2 sensors fluctuate, you know, up and down. And here you can select, which is what we're going to do. We're going to select all of it. We're going to hit F1. That's going to select all the PIDs. Then we're going to hit F3, which is OK down here. And there's all our live data. Now we're probably not, the engine's not running, so we're not going to see anything really moving. But you know, if it was running, you'd see all this changing. Let's pick something, and let's hit F2 for graph. And there's our graph. And if it was running, if you was revving the engine up and stuff, you'd see that barometric pressure changing. So let's back out of that. And like you like you saw. Oh, you know what? Let's try something else. We're going to hit F2 again, because down here you can see where it says single graph F1, multi-graph F2, and merge graph F3. So if I hit F2, that will throw another graph up there. So you can have multiple graphs going is the point. There's injector duty cycle bank 1, injector duty cycle bank 2. So you can have both the banks with the duty cycle of the injector so that you can compare them from one to the other. And then if you hit F3, it merges both of them together. You can't see it because obviously the car is not running, and so there is no duty cycle right now on the injectors. But that's both injectors 1 and 2 on the duty cycle. Anyway, I don't know what else to show. Let's go ahead and back out of that. There's your transmission module. Let's go into the seat, because we had faults on the seat, just to show you that this will look at all the modules on a car. A lot of these scan tools will only do either the engine control module. Some of them will do engine and transmission only. Some of them are like a force system, so they'll do engine, transmission, ABS, and airbag, and that's it. This one here will do all of them. And then of course it's got the 5 special functions for the the electronic parking brake, the ABS, and what have you. Okay, so there's the trouble codes, and again, there's EC. Let's say you was having seat memory issues, and you found a service bulletin that showed that there's an update, and you don't know if your vehicle has had that update or not. You can go down through here. You can see the part number, the actual module itself, and you can see the software part numbers. And you can see, okay, if that software part number is not the current one, then you may need to update your computer. Take it to a dealer and have them update the software. Okay, let's take a look at those trouble codes that it showed that we had on the seat. So we've got left rear haptic movement motor control circuit, short to battery, and the left rear haptic motor, so short to ground. So and I've known, sometimes that motor works, sometimes it doesn't. That's that little seat vibrator whenever you're like changing lanes or you're coming up on someone too fast. That will that'll vibrate your seat to get your attention. And of course, let's take a look at the data. Seat position data. Yeah, we'll just take a look at that. Okay, and there's all the seat information. All you'd have to do is select which page you want to take a look at. You could do F1 for all, then F3, to go into that menu, and you can see all your data. And let's see. Of course, you could have read the trouble codes, which we already knew what they were. I think. Let's go into the AC module. That's an important one. Oh, I hit the wrong button. F1 to cancel that. Where was we at? HVAC. Okay. and we want data. And then we're going to end this video after this one, so it doesn't get too long. Okay, and there you go. It hit F1 to select them all. I'll hit OK to go into it, or actually F3, and there it is. Battery saver mode, HVAC. So anyway, it looks like a very capable scan tool. Like I say, lifetime updates. Let's go ahead and back out of all this. Are you sure you want to exit? We're going to hit, we're going to hit F3 to exit. There's your control modules. You got your quick scan. You've got where you can just go in and you can select which control module you want to take a look at. Of course, you can manually put the VIN in, if you wanted to do that. Let's go ahead and do OBD2. And the reason I want to do that, we're going to have to do, well, we're not going to have to, but we're going to do auto scan, is to see, yeah. So monitors, oh, that's what I wanted to look at. Meal status is off, codes found 0. Now this is specifically, when you go into generic OBD2, it's specifically just looking at the engine control module. Monitors NA or 2, which is fine, not applicable. Monitors OK, 9. Monitors incomplete, 0. Before you take your vehicle to get it inspected, you're going to need most of the monitors to be OK. If you've got any that says incomplete, if it's a 2000 or older, at least here in the state of Texas, all states may be different, so you'll have to look it up. But in Texas, you can have 2 monitors incomplete, and it's still going to pass. If it's 2001 or newer, you can have 1 monitor that's incomplete, and it'll still pass. So it's always good to take a look at your monitors before you take it up to the inspection station. That way you're not surprised if they tell you that it's not going to pass. We're going to hit, let's go ahead and hit F1 for OK. And of course there's your engine. Now it's showing transmission module there too. Let's go ahead and hit engine. See, there's your IM readiness, live data, onboard monitor, component. And here in generic OBD2, sometimes you'll have a component test, sometimes you won't. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video simply because it's kind of dragging out, like a lot of them do, I know. Of course, your data manager, I talked about that. That's where you'd go to pull up, any data that you saved. We went into settings. Maintenance was where the 5 functions were. The diagnostic is, all that is the same thing whenever we did the auto VIN. So I'd hit America, because this is an American truck. Then you'd go over and you'd select what it is, in this case a GM, and you'd go through, and it's going to pull up the same exact thing where we was at. In fact, let me go ahead and prove that to you. There's Smart VIN right there. If I hit Smart VIN, we're right back at the exact menu than that we was whenever we was right there at Auto VIN. So that's all that is. Anyway, this is a Foxwell NT624 Elite. It's a very budget-friendly scan tool. So if you're needing just a nice little scan tool to be able to troubleshoot your own stuff, this would be a good one for that. Anyway, until then, you guys take care. Have a good day.